host, Julian Lee. Today I'm joined by the fantastic Mosongo, Moukwa, and Barrett Matthews. Veena is missing in action, but that doesn't matter. Welcome, guests. All right, we're going to play Jeopardy. And afterwards, we're going to meet our fantastic guests and learn about all the exciting things they're doing, as we do. All right, in the hot seat is Barrett Matthews. Let's just load up the game, and we'll go from there. Here we go. All right. Next round. The categories are National Parks, starts with B, Teeth, the Continents, Auto Shop, and Biologies. Barrett, you can kick things off.
Let me start out with the continents for 400, Julian.
Continents 400. Of 4, 12, or 20, the number of independent countries in Africa before World War II. 4, 12, or 20.
Before World War II.
Can't be 4, surely. I mean, there's so many countries in Africa.
I'm going to say, is it 20?
Let's take a look. It is actually 4. Is that correct?
Wow.
Yeah.
What countries was it? What, like Rhodesia?
No, it's Ethiopia, Liberia.
Wow. Considering there are like 50-something countries.
Amazing.
South Africa.
South Africa was there. What was South Africa called originally?
Well, it has always been South Africa.
Oh, is
It's
okay.
you are probably thinking of Zimbabwe, that used to be Rhodesia.
Oh yeah, they changed that one. What did they change that to?
Rhodesia.
Rhodesia
Oh,
became
that's
Zimbabwe.
Rhodesia. Gotcha. Yeah, all right. Well, it's Zimbabwe. It's actually Zimbabwe. Gotcha. All right, let's continue on. I always get sidetracked on questions. You're still in control, Barrett.
Okay. Let's go to the continents for 200.
Continents for 200. Eons of wind and rain have worn away ancient mountains, making this smallest continent the flattest too. Smallest continent and the flattest.
Is it Antarctica?
That's a good answer. Let's take a look. It is Australia. Well, I should have known that one.
Did you know it?
No, I didn't. I don't know anything. All right, you're still in control, Barrett.
I can't believe I still am. Let's go with starts with B for 400.
Starts with B for 400. The 2 South American countries whose names begin with B.
Let's say Brazil and no, not
Yeah.
Brazil and
Brazil and
Belize.
Wow. Well, they are 2. I was going to say Bolivia. Let's take a look.
I was going to say that too, but
is maybe Belize is in the Caribbean? Is it?
Must be.
Not sure. Well, they've got Bolivia and Brazil. Still in control, Barrett?
Can't believe that.
Because
starts with B for 200.
Starts with
B.
No, if you know the answer, you can jump in there, Mosongo.
He probably knows more than me.
Okay.
Yeah, just jump in. All right, so what was that? We're doing which one, Barrett?
It starts with B for 200.
Starts with B 200. Classical male singing voice whose vocal range lies between the bass and the tenor. Starting with a B.
And the baritone?
This sounds pretty good to me. Let's take a look. This could be the first correct answer. Well done. Barrett Matthews is on the board for 200. Woo! Round of applause. All right. Continuing on, Barrett, what would you like?
Let's say start with B for 600.
Starts with B for 600. The only B word in the nursery rhyme, Little Miss Muffet. Now, I don't know how popular nursery rhymes are. Did you have any of those when you were in elementary school?
Yeah.
Little Miss Muffet sat on her
Is it
tuppet.
beside?
What was that?
Is it beside?
Oh, that sounds good. Beside is correct. Well done, Barrett Matthews. He's on fire.
I'm on fire.
All right, Barrett, you're still in control. What would you like?
Let's go. Starts with B for 800.
Starts with B for 800.
Yeah, to clear the
For
board.
Greek, for great hunger, beating this behaviour syndrome is among Jane Fonda's causes. So it means great hunger. It's actually, I'll give you a
bulimia.
clue. Oh, goodness me,
it
Barrett.
bulimia?
I was going to give you a clue. He doesn't need one. He said bulimia. That's correct. Well done, Barrett. He's on fire. Continuing on. Don't worry. You'll get a go.
I gotta go with the one that brung me. Let's start with B for 1,000.
Starts with B for 1,000. On the River Dee in Scotland, it's private residence of the British sovereign, which would be the King. On the River Dee in Scotland, it's private residence of the British sovereign. So some sort of B, probably castle or something, in Scotland. I know nothing about royals.
I don't either. I mean, I should, but I don't.
We're trying to kick them out. We still got the England flag on our flag. It's very embarrassing.
On the River Dee, it's got in Scotland. It's private residence. I have no idea.
No, I've got nothing. Mosongo, any idea?
No.
No, none of us are good at the royals. It is Balmoral Castle. I have heard of it.
I would have never gotten
I
that.
would have never gotten it. All right, you're still in control, Barrett.
Let's go auto shop for 200.
Yeah, let's work on cars. Auto shop for 200. It
you.
keeps your neck warm in the winter or your engine quiet all year.
What's a scarf?
But in the car, what is the thing that stops the sound from...
Station? A muffler.
Muffler, yeah.
Oh, Mosongo just about got there. Is correct, muffler's correct. You got it, Barrett. You're still in control.
I gotta move my head over here. What's the last one on the right?
Biology.
Category?
Biology.
I'm
Pretty
not good at
scary.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna try. Let's go biology for 200.
Biology for 200. In genetics, it's what passing of characteristics from mum and dad to junior is called. Starts with a H, and it's also the name of a horror movie. H. The song, it's in there. I can just see it. You're just digging around the memory banks.
What is heredity?
Heredity is correct, I think.
Yeah.
That's the one. Well done, Barrett. Still.
Okay. Yeah, that was tough. Let me go with biology for 400.
Biology 400. When sexually aroused, the carpenter species of this insect will chase jetliners.
Jeez.
It chases jetliners, this insect, when it's feeling a bit randy, as they say.
I'm going to take a guess and say, what is a bee?
Those randy bees. It is bees. Well done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wonder why they like jet airliners. They like those.
Hey,
They're big, thick bees.
maybe. God, let's see. Why not try national parks for 200?
National parks.
I won't get
200,
this.
established in 1872. It's the oldest national park in the United States. It's got to be that big one in California.
I'm gonna say, what is Yellowstone? 'Cause I don't know.
Yeah, indeed.
It's got to be Yellowstone is correct. home of
That's
yoga.
probably the only one I know. So
It's the one that's got the hot springs and the things that shoot up, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The Old Faithful.
That's the one.
Let's try biology for 600.
Biology for 600. The period of time between egg laying and hatching is called this.
Is that
Starts with an
That's
I.
an I?
Yes.
Is that
Incubation.
incubation?
What did you say, Mosongo?
Incubation.
Yep.
That's
All
what I
right. You
said,
got in
yeah.
there just.
That's not.
You got in there a
That's what
bee's hair ahead. Well
The
done,
bees.
Masungu. That was 600 points, Masungu. So you're in good shape. 600 versus 2,000.
I'm in the basement.
You're in the basement, but you've still got
Oh, look at it.
some runs on the board. That's good.
It's still better than me.
Barrett is flying there, man.
No, Barrett is not. Barrett got most of them wrong.
Well, actually, Masungu's got a pretty good strike rate because he only answered one question and got it right.
Right.
Yeah, he's 1 for 1. All right, Mosungo, what would you like?
Let's go back to the continent.
The continents for 600?
Yes, for 600.
Mountain range that's the accepted dividing line between Europe and Asia.
That's what.
Unbelievable.
Pyrénées. What is it in?
I know this one. Okay, Mosungo, here's a clue for you. Starts with a U. Next letter is R.
That's what I thought. Is it Urides?
Next letter is A.
Is it Urides?
Next letter is L. That's
Ural.
it. That's all the letters.
Yeah, Ural.
All right, Mosungo got it. You're in control. What would you like?
Let's do a national park.
National parks for 400 of historic, recreational value or natural features. Reason most national parks are preserved. So which one is it? Historical value, recreational value, or natural features, which is why we preserve parks. It's got to be.
It's got to be natural features.
It's got to be natural features. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Natural features is correct. Barrett is in control.
Okay. Let's go auto shop for 400.
Back to the auto shop, 400. The frame of the car without the out shell. Some are classy. The frame of the car without the out shell. Some are classy.
What is the chassis? What is the
There
chassis?
you go. That rhymes with. That's what they're doing. They're being clever. The chassis. Well done, Barrett.
Ain't much I know about it. Well, let's go teeth for 200.
Teeth
I need to go
for
to the doctor.
200. The more expensive type of veneer.
No, I know I won't get this, but his daughter's a dentist, so
Your daughter's a dentist, Mosungo. Have you got your daughter on the phone? So my son got a veneer, but we got the cheap one. It was a composite, but there is a more expensive one, and it starts with a P. It's also what the toilet's made out of.
oh, what is porcelain?
Porcelain.
Yeah, porcelain.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well done, Barrett.
I think I need to get out of teeth. Let's go with auto shop for 600.
Auto shop for 600. In newer cars, it has generally replaced the generator for keeping the battery charged. Newer cars. Oh, yeah.
Newer cars.
So there used to be a generator, and now it's something that sounds like Ada, but it's not a generator. It's an starts with an A. I think.
Alternator.
Alternator, Mosungo. is correct. Well done.
That's so funny because I just had someone check mine a couple weeks ago.
Well, you know what? I was just thinking these questions are pretty old. I wonder if cars still have them because all the Teslas obviously don't. But
I know, right?
yeah,
I was starting to think about what are the electrical cars, the newer cars. Like,
yeah, they don't have any of that. They're just a big battery, like a power drill. Mosongo, what would you like?
Yeah, the continent, 800.
Continents for 800. Some big points here. Besides the Amazon, one of the 4 other river systems that drain South America. Besides the Amazon, oh my goodness, that's the only one I know. Amazon, South American rivers. Ah, yes, I've got it.
Yeah, I would say Negro in Brazil.
Negro River. And which is the one where they got always this Mexican swimming across to get into the United States?
They have Rio Grande.
Rio Grande. Let's take a look.
Yeah, Rio Grande.
River Plate. Actually, or I think it must be River Plate or something. I've actually heard of that because AC/DC performed there in a big concert. I think it's in Argentina. Sorry for giving you a bum stare there, Mosongo.
Yeah, there is another river called Rio de la Plata.
Ah, Rio de la Plata. So, I wonder what that means. It's kind of like a flat area. Anyway, Mosongo, you're still in control.
Let's do National Park.
National
For
Park
600.
for 600. California National Park. That's site of the world's tallest known tree. I wonder if it's the same one from the previous question.
I thought it was Yellowstone.
Yeah. With the sequoia.
So, Barrett said Yellowstone first. Let's take a look. It is actually, I've got to make it bigger, Redwood National Park. Have you heard of that?
Nope.
It's probably a parking lot these days. Who knows? All right, Mosongo, I think you're still in control. What would you like?
Let's try. Let's finish the continent.
The continents for 1,000. The continental drift theory says that all continents once formed a giant landmass called... I remember doing this in high school.
Yeah.
It all started I think in Africa, and it was one big area, and then it split up, and the big area starts with a P.
I don't know.
The answer is Pangaea.
I would have never gotten it. I would have never gotten it.
It's amazing. I don't know much, but there's a couple of little things from high school I remembered. That's one of them.
I remember getting out.
I was always getting detention for talking. All right, you're still in control, Mosongo.
Okay, biology 800.
Biology for 800. In an apple, it's the inside name for the pericarp. That sounds difficult. What's the inside? Well, what do you call the meat of the apple? That's my only thing that I could say. I don't know if I'm correct, but the thing I'm thinking of starts with a P.
The pear?
No. It's also the same thing as when they make paper. And what's that mushy stuff called? Starts with a P.
Make paper.
It's all mushy and wet.
Pulp.
Pulp. Let's take a look. That was what I was thinking. I'm not sure if I'm right. No, it's the core. Sorry.
That's what I said first.
The core.
Oh, you said that. Okay, you got it.
I said that.
There you go. You got it. You got it, Barrett. You're on. You're in control. What would you like?
Let's try auto shop for 800.
Auto
Not a
shop
good thing.
for 800. You might throw a fit if you throw this part joining the crankshaft and the piston. You might throw a fit if you throw
What is a gasket?
gasket. That's a bad thing to break in your car. I did that when I was younger. Let's take a look. It is the connecting rod, which is what
Yes.
happened
Yes,
to the
yes,
Bluesmobile in the Blues Brothers.
Yeah. For the mission from God.
Yeah. All right. Let's do one more question, Barrett. What would you like?
Let's go auto shop again.
Auto shop, 1,000 points. Used to open and close points and valves. They come in single or double overhead if you're cool. Oh, three-letter word starting with...
What's it? Cam?
Cam. Sounds good to me. Cam is correct. Well done. Let's wrap it up. Have a round of applause for our wonderful guests. Barrett on 5,400. Cindy on 1,800. It was a good, fun game, which is the most important thing.
I'm so surprised.
All right, Barrett, we'll throw over to you and tell us a little bit about what you're up to. You're a speaker. You've got a PhD as well, which is exciting. Do you want to tell us about how you got into media?
Yeah. I actually was in college flunking out of architecture and didn't know what I wanted to go into. My sister suggested I go into media because I always liked television and radio. And I'm thinking, doesn't everyone? So I decided to change my major. My grades shot up. I was much more relaxed. I was much happier. I got even dubbed Mr. Mass Media at college at one point. I got out of school and I got an intern. Well, before I ended school, I got an internship at a TV station in DC where I met a mentor of mine. You may know him, James Brown from CBS Sports. And he took me under his wing and put in the word for me when I got out of school. I got a job there. Then he put in the word for me at CBS Sports. So I got up to New York, worked with CBS Sports, worked with a lot of my idols, and was able to get a lot of experience in television. And I ended up getting out of television for a while, got into the business world, but media kept calling me back. So I started incorporating media in my business practices as well. And what I started to do was work with entrepreneurs and high-level entrepreneurs to show them how they can incorporate media to help grow their presence and to make it so people can know them and they can be everywhere all at once. So that's how I got to where I am right now. Short version.
And what is it that people need to do if they want to start getting, I guess, exposure? You help people get exposure in the media, is that correct?
Yeah, what we do is we create their media. So a lot of people are waiting for someone to call their name and say, hey, look at me. And I say, stop waiting for people. Media is now more accessible than it ever was. Just like you have your own podcast here. So instead of you waiting for someone to call you, you created your own. So the same thing with everyone else. I say create your own media. So that way you can control your media. That way, my company's called Media Boss Pro. I'm not the media boss. I want to turn you into the media boss by controlling your media.
And what are some of the best ways for people, if somebody says to you, Barrett, I want to get an increased profile, I want to do it in a year, well, I want to improve it at least. What are the first things I should do?
One is I'd say create a podcast, because with a podcast, with audio and video, you can actually capture two different audiences right there. Because usually the people, and you know this, people that watch video are usually not the same people that listen to audio. Take that and turn it into social media stories. You capture three different areas of market just right there alone. Then what we want to do is we'll get you booked on different TV shows. You can talk about your area of expertise. So then you have other people's audiences paying attention to you as well. And in that process, you can start growing your reach and your visibility.
Awesome. Barrett, I accidentally made all the sound effects go off when you were talking, so you'll hear that on the playback.
That's fine.
Yeah, and who do you mostly work with? What types of businesses?
Well, I like to work with retired CEOs or C-suite executives, also retired athletes and coaches as well, because these are people who've had high-profile positions, and all of a sudden now it's gone, and a lot of them are wondering what to do next. What's their next adventure? What's their next plateau? And sometimes they need someone to help them to get that visibility out. So that's what I'm primarily looking for.
Awesome. And if you want to have a chat to Barrett and work out what you can do, head over to MediaBossPro.com. I got the link in the show notes. And also, you're on LinkedIn. I'll put that link in there. What else? How's the best way to get hold of you, Barrett?
I didn't go to the website. Just gave Media Boss Pro, and they can schedule a time with me.
Awesome. Well, that's great. get into podcasting, and a lot of people they just don't know the first place to go, how to get started, and that's kind of what you do. So if you're in that boat, have a chat to Barrett. He's a nice bloke, and he can help you. Thanks, Barrett.
Thank you, man.
Wonderful. All right, let's pop over to our other wonderful guest, Mosongo Moukwa. Tell us a little bit about your journey. You've done all sorts of big corporate roles. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, thank you. First of all, Julian, thank you for having us on your show. It's a great deal of fun.
Wasn't it?
Yes, indeed. Enjoying playing with Barrett here, so it was good. I am a published author and business strategist. So, Julian, my story is really a story of transformation and finding my true calling. I spent over 30 years in senior leadership with major brands in the manufacturing industry, chemicals, materials, plastics, ink, and so on. And then my career was punctuated with entrepreneurship. One venture and then back to corporate, then another venture, then back to corporate. And eventually I decided it was time to take a leap of faith and venture fully in the world of entrepreneurship. So that call really came when one of the companies I was working for was sold to private equity venture. That's when I really say, hey, the hell with them. Let me try to do my own thing. So my corporate career was extremely rewarding, filled with strategic decision making, operation, business development, R&D, mentoring young leaders, driving innovation, nurturing a number of customers, most of whom were actually small business owners. But I felt a deep sense, a deep desire to create something on my own. So today, yes.
I was going to say, what sort of roles were you doing in the corporate world? What departments?
Yeah, I managed actually a number of them. I was vice president of R&D, operation. So those are the types of activities. Some of my role were also in the business development.
Oh, well, that's some pretty big roles. And you wrote a book called The Revenue Revolution. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yes. The Revenue Revolution. Actually, that's the basis of my coaching. So in my book, I'm outlining a number of strategies for small business owners to uncover hidden revenues in a multiple of 6 figures without spending additional money into marketing. So really, that's what the book is about. So I help small business owners to do this, which at the same time free up their time and reignite their passion, which allow them then to enhance not only financial outcomes, but also prioritize time with loved ones. Yeah. And what I find is that generally leads to renewed energy and purpose.
You know, Mosongo, a lot of people are sitting on businesses where things are probably not optimal. What are some of the wasted opportunities that you could see within some of these small businesses that you work with?
Well, there is one thing they have to realize is the 80-20 rule, which essentially says that 80% of the effect comes from 20% of the causes. So for the small business owners, actually 80% of their revenues come from 20% of what they do on their business. So first they have to realize that. So that has a number of implications. That has implication in terms of them freeing up their time and beginning now to focus on a number of things. To focus on those things that actually generating revenue, which are leads, frequencies of sales, retention, how much they should charge, costs, and so on. So if they could spend 20% of their time focusing primarily on those 7 elements, actually that has a tremendous impact on the 80% of the revenue. So that's one thing that actually I try to bring their attention. The reason is that because if you take those elements and you act on not one of them but all of them, it has this compounding effect. So 10% improvement in each one of those actually would generate tremendous profitability. And we have seen improvement in the 50%, just 10%. And if they even go beyond that and say 40% incremental improvement, then they could actually have, double their profitability, so to speak.
Absolutely. And tell us about the pathway to profit system. How does that work, and how does it benefit small businesses?
Yes, yes. This is a great question. What small business owners they're looking for is what they're looking for: financial independence. So they're looking to leave a legacy for their children and spend time with loved ones. So the reality is that they are not achieving those, and they keep working, and there are so many factors at play, and the stagnation only starts setting in, and that stagnation is actually only a symptom of something else, because in reality they are really facing psychological challenges and pain, huh? And those are multiple. So they're facing fear of failure, sometimes that's setting in. So they're afraid of failing, so they become somewhat risk averse. For some of them, self doubt starts setting in. Many of the small business owners, they struggle with that feeling, questioning if they really actually deserve their achievement. And they don't want to take time off. Huh? They're afraid that this will harm their business. So they become stressed, no quality time for their family. They lack clarity and focus. As you know, without clarity and focus, it's difficult for one to achieve really your long-term goals. Huh? So particularly those who are working on business with tight margin, so that pressure is really weighs heavily on them. And then you have this isolation and lack of support, emotional exhaustion, and so on. So that stress, anxiety, burnout, family strain, loss of passion. So those are all the things that really happening there. So initially it's painful, huh? But then they start getting used to living in that space and feeling comfortable with it, and then justifying the situation without actually addressing those. So what do we do? Is that first of all we want them to address those psychological challenges, because that's really essential for the small business owner to overcome those obstacles. And then we make them aware, that they have been actually settling with something that they are not happy about. So bring that pain to the surface. And then what I do is that I try for them to envision, if they were the luckiest person alive, what would that look like? Because actually, apart from those financial goals, they actually have some personal goals. They have dreams. Some of them would say, "Have told me, oh, if I reach a $2 million in sales, I would like to buy my mother a house, a 400,000." So I would say, "Mom, this is great for you." So then the financial outcome now becomes the conduit to those personal dreams. So I try to bring that to them. So we clarify the goals, and then I provide that support, that coaching, helping to drag out of the to drag them out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you talk about the business owners are so busy because they're stuck in all the tasks. They're micromanaging. They're not delegating, and then it's very almost impossible to be able to get that bird's eye view and create some change. And that's where having a coach like Mosongo, who's had all of that corporate experience, can really just help you immediately get clarity. And Barrett as well, if you want to get a media plan and improve your visibility. So, whichever service you need, it always pays to speak to somebody and get that second pair of eyes having a look at you, and it just helps you get clarity always. So if you want to have a chat to Mosongo, what types of small businesses do you work with, Mosongo?
Yeah, I work with small business owners with revenue in the range of 1 million to 4 million. Those are the people I'm targeting. I've done some work with people in the 400,000, but really my target is those in that range. Those are people primarily like the baby boomers. They want to get their business in a good position so they could leave a legacy to their children They're not always too sure. Sometimes they may hire their son or daughter to take over the business, but he or she is not really able to really see whether they have the right infrastructure, first of all, for them to continue. So that's really the type of target people in that revenue range.
So do you find, Mosongo, that often when the older business owner has got maybe a son or daughter and they're bringing them into the business, that's the perfect time to have a chat and really lay things out? Is that where it seems to work best for you?
Yeah. That works best there, but also, so that's one area that it works very well. But it also works well if the baby boomer would like at some point to sell their business. So by helping them improve their revenue without spending too much money, that helps also in the valuation of the revenue, because we can now, from that base, we can find, I don't know, 100,000, 200,000 an additional revenue, depending where that base revenue is. And then that actually makes their business more valuable because they have the right infrastructure, they have the right psychological mind, and they're ready then to talk to whoever investors or whoever potential buyers.
Yes, interesting. If you look to sell your business, get it all organized before selling it, obviously makes a lot of sense. How long does the process take, Mosongo?
Yeah, my coaching generally I ask the prospect to work with me for a period of a year. The reason I choose a year is because some of the things that we're going to be putting in place, the way it works is that we define strategies together, and then I provide them with their assignments, things to read and so on. I expect from them to devote 4 to 5 hours every week to work on their business doing those assignments, and then I meet with them once a week, an hour or so, in terms of ensuring the outcome, to see how they are progressing, holding them accountable, and so on. Some of the strategies, when we're putting the implementation, the result actually is going to show up only after a few months. That's what I look for them to work with me for a year. And then after 3 months, we sit down, we see how we're doing, if we need to recalibrate certain things, and so on. Because in addition, I should mention that I'm not just focusing on the financial outcome. My coaching approach is really about integrating every aspect of life: the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, social, and environmental, into in a holistic framework. Because I believe true success is not just about hitting the financial target or gaining market share. It's actually creating extraordinary results that also improve the quality of life for the individual and those around them. So that's how I approach it.
Sounds good.
Financial outcome, yes, but I want the individual to also grow through the process.
They're all related, aren't they? Like if you're healthier, you tend to, experience more success in other areas, and vice versa. So it's a good idea, I think. That's awesome. And Barrett, how long does it take for people that you work with generally to increase their profile and become a media boss?
Well, it depends on which package they want. If they're interested in one of our smaller packages, which basically involves them having a podcast, us producing it for them, and getting them on some television shows, I would usually say about 3 to 6 months. But if they're looking for full exposure, meaning we'll create a documentary film for them. We'll get a Roku TV channel set up for them and produce a show for them with a book as well to go along with it. So they're encompassing all different forms of media. Kind of like Mosongo, we're usually asking them to stay with us for at least a year so we can get that all set up and running for them. But yeah, it depends on which package they're looking for, what they want to get out of their visibility, how much reach they really want to have.
Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know you could get a Roku channel. That would be pretty good because a lot of people have those devices these days.
Exactly. They're on all the smart TVs.
Yeah, that's awesome. So there's lots of things you could do. Have a chat to Barrett to get your media strategy organized, and also Mosongo for all of the business structures and everything else if you want to transition ownership or maybe sell your business. Thank you, both of our wonderful guests. That was awesome.
I appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks for listening and watching. See you next time. Bye.